Hi, this is Dana, and I come back before the end of this year. Few hours left for here um, to do the video on children. I made videos before in which I talked about the couple, the choices, to what extent is beneficial to receive back ex partners, no matter what type of relation you had with them, former husbands, wives, lovers, romantic partners in platonic ways, or whatever type of relations you had with them, after you have been through bondage breaking, after you have been through spiritual war, essentially, one against the other, and specifically after one of the two turned to be karmic. Yeah. But of course, I said everybody has free will choice, as God always reminds us. And some of the choices might not be beneficial, but that just shows that you have a lesson you must learn. And it seems that if you make a wrong choice, it means you simply have to go through that experience in order to fully understand the lesson and pass the test so you can move on. Now, regardless of your choice, children should never be victims of your choices. This is why I'm making this video, in which I tend to point out a few ways in which you can protect your children in case you decide to take back a former partner, or even family member, or co-worker, or boss, or something, anybody that you have a karmic connection with. um, Sometimes maybe you don't necessarily take them back, but you don't fully break the cycle. So this is also in one way kind of like taking them back. You just continue a path of karmic connection with that person. That means that somehow you didn't succeed, consciously or not. Maybe it's not by decision making, but by simply just not doing properly the spiritual fighting. So then you continue to the karmic connection. Maybe you give undeserved forgiveness, and here we must always take in consideration sometimes undeserved forgiveness can give given on subconscious level, and this is the level which is most targeted by them with dark magic and spells. They try, even though you logically, by rationale, you decide to not take them back. If you don't succeed to make on energetic level a balance in your body, in which also you don't feel empathy, it's not enough to say it. It's you must actually realize that in your energetic body. So you must make sure, when you say I don't take so and so back, you must make sure that you energetically, on subconscious level, don't give them undeserved forgiveness, don't find excuses for them, don't give them empathy, and so on. So many times karmic cycles repeat themselves, not because of a poor decision, but because you simply just don't succeed in doing all the necessary spiritual fighting and healing, so you can actually realize in on all levels and dimensions a cutoff between you and that individual. So in all of these cases, regardless where you find yourself, um, I I want to give a few pointers on how you can protect your children, because in all of these cases your children are being affected. Sometimes it might be that you simply cannot break that connection. For example, if you work with a boss with whom you have a karmic tie, you might cut him off rationale, but you might not be able to cut him off out of your life. He's present in your reality, and then it's a challenge for you on an energetic level. I have neighbors like this. For example, I cut off all my co-workers, so I resigned, but maybe not everybody can afford to resign when they want to. I have on the other hand, neighbors whom I cannot push out from the geographic proximity. And of course, I did cut them off, and I cut ties with all of them, but they forced themselves on me with black magic. So I can understand how sometimes it's a challenge to realize this cutoff. This is why I give these examples for children protection for absolutely all of these circumstances. So you should do children protection in any case, because you don't succeed instantly to cut off somebody, and children should be protected. So uh, you should do astral letter for protection for them. For example, you must claim them in astral. You must know that these people claim your children based on different sort of rationales. For example, they make untruthful declarations about you not being a fit parent, and then they make a judgment and they say that child doesn't belong to you. This is stupid and crazy, but this happens as hidden bondage in secret societies behind your back. You don't know about it, and then you don't. Of course, you're taking care of your child, but on the other hand, in astral level, they made claim on your child, so they can use your child. They can use the child to attack you through the child. They can inflict illness on your child. You might have children who make a lot of do a lot of fighting, a lot of being disobedient, being angry all the time, or if you have teenager children and they start having issues, troubles like being bipolar, or being many of them, they have issues with their sexuality. Many of these are consequence of darkness attacks at them. Children, if children are being used by secret societies and claimed because of the rights they have or gifts they have, you must know that they sometimes use them in a sexual manner, because they have entities which feed on sexual energy. And then you realize all of a sudden that your child um, has a tendency or a preference in sexual terms which doesn't coincide with the education you gave him, and you wonder why. And this is much of it is it's a result of this type of attacks which are done on him, and he's being used. um, and of course, if this happens in astral for a long time, then it becomes a material existence for that child. He doesn't know how to explain it himself, but this is what happens. They can reach out to children in their dream time, and they can use them energetically. So this is really important for everyone. Actually, I don't have children myself, but I have a few dogs. One of them is the closest to my heart. He's been in spiritual journey with me. We did it together, and I consider him to be my child. So I did protection for my dog. So everybody should do for their children. So you must write an astral letter to claim him, and to ask protection and cut off all other claims and strings put on him. You must make clear parental rights. If you, again, if you're in a couple and you have karmic partner, and you're co-parenting, then you must make sure that the individual who has been creating harm on you cannot create harm on your child as well. So you must state in your astral letter about all this. You must, of course, claim justice, judgment, and punishment from God for the child. So God will show you the bondage, reveal to reveal what bondage was done on your child. It can be done in previous lifetimes, and he comes here with that challenge, or it can be done in the current lifetime. Many times it can be done because of you, meaning people who are out to get you are using attacking the child because he's easier to manipulate in astral. Then so you must claim justice, judgment, and punishment, and ask God to reveal the bondage created either because of you or because of his gifts. All children have gifts of their own and rights of their own, many of them, because they come now when ascension is already at a certain level. Many of them are clean slate, so they don't have programming on them. So essentially, many secret societies are already hunting for your children to take them down, to steal their rights, and so on. So you ask protection for your child from your karma. So no karma from you should be transferred to him, right? So if you accept a partner back into your life with whom you have a karmic connection and you try to heal together, that's a choice you can make. But then you should ask protection for your child so he won't be affected by that karma, which means you take upon yourself in front of God the responsibility to break that bondage. This is the generational curses, right? So you say, I don't want this to be passed to my child. I take the responsibility to break this. So I ask God to give me guidance how to do this so my child won't be affected. Um, you cut cords for your child, of course. You do energy healing for your child, so you should learn this. You can do either reiki or pranic healing. Both have the same essential concept. Healing is being done with your own hand, and you heal first chakras, then organs associated with each chakra, and then you can clean your aura. And I have already posted videos on some of the meditation cleanups. I will post more information on that, of course. But keep in mind that you have to learn to do energy healing. Don't send your child to others to clean him energetically because they put strings on him. You, as a parent, have to learn to do this and clean him, and you can teach him or her, the child, I mean, to do by himself energy cleaning because he's more pure than you. And the child can do it himself if he's big enough. So you teach him discipline in terms of meditation and prayer, about energy healing, also about the concept of karma. You teach him to build positive karma for himself. This is done through charity. You can take your child and teach him to give charity to poor children. You can take him to homeless people to give some food, or to orphanages to see other children which are in bad conditions, to help them. You can teach them to do good deeds. Most important is to create the mindset about karma, what it means to build a positive karma, because this will give power to the child, and will give divine grace. So no matter what comes his way, then he will be healed. This is important. He will have more protection and more power. So you should teach him all of these, which for our generations came a little bit later in the process, but you should teach him a discipline in doing all of this for himself. You must learn about his gifts and to help him gain abilities in working with his gifts, because all the gifts come with attacks. All these people that work in secret societies, they know about the gifts and the purpose of each individual, even before you get born here. And they will track you down, and they will start attacking that child from young childhood, before teenage years. So you should learn what gifts your child has, what purpose it has, and help him, first of all, use the gifts, but second of all, help him learn to protect himself. Okay, because otherwise, I have seen individuals who came to me to do a reading in certain circumstance for children who are already astral traveling, and their parents didn't even know what astral traveling means, you know. And I've seen parents who, a woman actually, who was asking her child to go in astral, a boy, to go in astral to do to send a message to someone else because she didn't know and she couldn't do astral traveling. So I told her, this is not normal that you send your child in astral but you don't bother to learn to teach him what protections your child should have in astral. In astral he can encounter any kind of dark force that he doesn't know how to protect against, and you're sending him there to send a message. What the fuck is wrong with you? Just take your phone and call that man if you want to send a message to that man. Don't use your children for this. And by the way, because I did a soul healing on that child, um, by invocation with Jesus. I learned that he was actually an angel, which is uh, accompanying. I don't know how to say this in English. Is accompanying Jesus in church during liturgy to counter the effect of witchcraft during liturgy. So he was a special angel associated with fighting against the witchcraft done through liturgy. So he had tremendous purpose. This is why Jesus asked me to do a soul healing by invocation on him. And this is how I learned what gift he has. But I mean, just I give you an example so you'll understand. You have to protect your child, because children nowadays already are awoken, and they have gifts, and they must understand the dangers surrounding their gifts. You must heal the child to you must help the child to heal past lifetimes. So for this there are meditations, and I will do a video myself about ancestral healing, how you do ancestral healing and bondage breaking for previous lifetimes. um, and overall you must be aware and try to not necessarily scare him, because being scared in astral, that's detrimental to your power. But to understand that there are real problems. There are individuals who are feeding on your children. There are individuals who are molesting your children in astral. There are individuals who do sacrificing rituals on your children in order to gain certain powers, who steal their gifts. And literally they I'll give you one more example before I close up. They can use your child. What you must understand, that when we say somebody steals your gift, there are two options: either they steal your light and manifest with it to receive your gift, or they actually steal your gift. That means that individual stealing essentially a gift is either by mm, artificial telepathy. So that individual will do artificial telepathy on your child, sort of like a hypnosis, where he will essentially, that individual will overlap energetically with your child to use his gifts. Okay. So it's like a hypnosis in which the child is being used like an instrument, because those individuals don't have the purity necessary. So for example, somebody can use him to astral travel. Yeah. But that means that individual travels together with your child. So it's like they kidnap your child in a certain status of dream state. They can actually do this in order to be able to achieve what they want. So this is really dangerous for your children. Now you don't need to scare them off. This is not what I mean here, but I'm what I mean truly is because I have seen with my own eyes parents, irresponsible parents, literally, who, as I gave that example of that woman, was using her boy, her child, to send him in astral to send messages to different men with whom she had different romantic interests. And this is not acceptable, and unfortunately this can be done by somebody who's not in his presence, by people who surround him, by different sort of connections which can be created. So these are just a few ideas. I think the most important message that I actually have is that you need to protect your child. I think that if you pray to God, God will show you more ways, and each individual, maybe they can contribute to this. As I said, I don't have children on my own, but I love children, and I believe that they shouldn't be harmed intentionally or unintentionally by doing something, or by refusing to do something as a parent or as an adult. So I do believe that they should be protected in all of this. But I also know from God that these individuals use children a lot. They use children a lot. Even, for example, if you go to um, one of these bioenergeticians who claim to be spiritually enlightened, they essentially make claims on everybody who they teach. So they think of themselves as being some kind of guru, and they take rights upon the people that they teach. They create attachments to those individuals, and they feed on them for the rest of their lives. And not only on those individuals, but also on the children of those individuals. So you must be very careful where you take your children to learn these things, where you go to learn these things, because your child can be claimed automatically through a claim made on you, and so on. And if you accept ex-partners in your life who are karmic and are doing harm to you as an adult, again, probably you have lessons which you still need to learn. That's your problem. But you should make sure that you write an astral letter, and you take all the measures necessary to protect your children. I will say again, Happy New Year to everybody. I'm not sure if God will guide me to do another video before the end of today, uh, Easter time here. But if not, then I wish you a very happy New Year with lots of achievement, with a clean slate, with lots of wisdom and protection, and with a beautiful, beautiful beginning in the creation phase beyond any karmic cycles.